Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my top 10 favorite snowball champions in the middle lane video. This is going to be a video where I'll talk about the champions I feel like personally are the best ones when it comes to snowballing and carrying a game. Now, if you're wondering what exactly qualifies me for making this video, and if you're not aware, I do have a main account that is Diamond 5. I have a Smurf that's Plat 5, so I do know kind of what I am talking about here. So ever since I made that video explaining how to carry lower ELO, I mainly talked about the fact that you should play snowball champions, win your lane, and make sure you roam to other lanes and pretty much win those lanes for your allies as well. If you haven't seen that video, please click on the annotation in the top left and you can definitely check that out. But without further ado, I want to jump straight into my top 10 favorite snowball champions for the middle lane. But you might be wondering, what exactly do I look for that defines a snowball champion? What makes a certain champion a snowball champion? And I will quickly tell you guys what I look for in a snowball champion. So first of all, I want the champion to be a really strong champion. I want the champion to have really good ratios. I want the champion to have really high mobility and pretty much have the ability to solo a team fight, almost solo a team fight, because by the time you're a snowball, and that pretty much means, that's another word for being fed, and by the time you're that fed, I want the champion to be able to walk in there, maybe 1v3 people without too much problem. Of course, it will require some good mechanics from the player on that certain champion, but I want the champion to have that sort of possibility, or at least be able to dive in 1v3, get a kill, and still get out. This is why I also think that mobility is really important on these kind of champions, because since you are snowballed, since you are fed, you will need to be able to get out of team fights very quickly after maybe your assassination is done or something like that, or be able to reset and continue on the killing spree. It's really important because, like I said, since you're fed, you have a huge killing spree on your head and you don't want to die and feed that to maybe the enemy ADC or something. So this is why I personally think mobility is really important. Alright, so the first champion, and keep in mind this is not in any order, this is just the top 10, so the champion number 10 could be just as good if not better than champion number 1. Anyways, first champion, Khazix. I think Khazix is a really super strong snowballer because he brings almost everything a snowballer needs. He brings crazy damage to isolation targets with his Q, which is just amazing at assassinating. He has his E, which not only gives him huge mobility to jump over walls, but once you upgrade it, of course, it gives him the ability to reset his E on a kill or assist, which is extremely important in a snowball champion in my opinion, because you can really just roam around the map really easily, and in team fights you can just keep resetting off of kills after kill after kill and just keep killing more people and chasing people down, and it's really important, I think. On top of that, you can jump in, kill the high priority target like the enemy ADC or mid laner, and then you can jump right out, and that's what I told you about earlier, how mobility is really important as to not to die. The second champion, without much surprise, is going to be Zed, and he pretty much fits the role very similarly to Khazix because he has the ultimate, which is huge single target damage. Unfortunately, it's not multi-target damage, it is only single target, but it will almost ensure the death of that target if you do it right. So you can simply jump in there with your ultimate, do some crazy damage, and then you can W away or press R again and just use your shadows to escape and let the mark finish off your target, which is really good. And on top of that, he has great roaming capabilities because he can just W over walls and he can really just sneak up into people and just ulti them and absolutely obliterate them, which is why I think he's really good. On top of that, he has strong AD ratios, which also makes him extremely strong and deadly as a melee AD assassin who's also extremely good at snowballing. Champion number 3 is going to be Katarina because she, again, just like Khazix, has that reset, which is just really important on certain champions, because once she is just snowballed, once she is, somewhat fed, maybe 3 kills in and, I don't know, 3-0-0 or 3-0-1 or something, not only can she roam to other lanes and just reset and just pretty much get almost easy kills on bottom and or top, but in team fights, and this is where she can really shine, if you are a good Katarina player and you can really assess the situation and know when to go in, you could just simply go on the squishy person like maybe the ADC or the enemy mid laner who got, maybe half HP from the team fight previous, and then you just jump in there, you just E on top of them, you press your ulti, and then you just kill them in 2 seconds, and then from that, all your skills other than your ulti are pretty much off of cooldown, and you can just continue your rampage throughout the team fight, and you can just, like I said, snowball through the game while just absolutely destroying everyone thanks to your awesome resets. Champion number 4 is going to be Fizz. Now this is a champion that's a bit harder to play because his playstyle is somewhat different than most champions. However, he's extremely strong because just with the Lich Bane, if he can get it really early, his damage just absolutely skyrockets, and his E and his Q and even his W just combined together will do absolutely crazy damage. On top of his Shark, if you do it right with a Shark and then you follow in with a double E into a WQ, will just absolutely shred any target. And on top of this, like I said, he has great mobility with his E, which makes him really just, be able to get out of fights, get into fights, and also completely avoid any certain damage. So Fizz, another really strong champion. Champion 5, LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc now with the new rework is actually really good. I personally enjoy playing her a lot, and I think she's extremely strong, especially, late game now. She's really, really good. If she does not scale off as hard as she used to, and not a bad champion, and that's why I put her in this list, because she has great mobility like all my other champions, and she has crazy burst damage with her Q, her ulti, her W, and her E, or her E to Q to ulti to W, and then E the second part, or something like that, where you proc both the marks of the Q mark and the ulti mark, which will pretty much be your, extra Q damage mark. And I just personally think LeBlanc, with the great mobility which can be offered with her W and then her ulti W version, which would be extremely hard to catch her if you can juke around people. It'll be hard to gank her in lane, and she just has extremely strong ability and huge burst potential. And I feel like she brings a lot more to team fights nowadays because she just has better damage overall. The 6th champion I put in this list is Gragas, and I think honestly Gragas is a very underlooked champion because I personally think he has one of the best kits in the game. His skills are just extremely good. His Q has great AoE damage. It's a skill shot, but the damage is huge. It gives attack speed slow on the Q, and then you have his E, which has huge mobility, has great damage, and it offers a slow. His W gives him sustainability in lane, and it gives him really good extra AD for the auto attacks in the lane or just in general. And on top of that, he has his ultimate, which is just amazingly good because it has huge range, it has crazy ratios, and it can really just split up a fight, and you can just separate the enemy team really, really solidly and just burst out any single champion you want. Or you can use the ultimate and pretty much just knock someone right to you and then E right into them and finish it up with the Q. And he's just a really good champion with huge mobility, huge burst, and just huge potential. Number 7 is going to go to Akali because I really feel like she's a really strong snowball champion, though she can be countered quite easily with oracles, with her shroud. But regardless, she has crazy burst damage. Her ultimate with the 3 stacks gives her huge mobility to just jump in and out of fights because she can just jump in a fight, Q, auto attack, E, and just do all this good stuff onto an enemy like ADC or something, or high priority target, and then even use all her 3 stacks on her ultimate to kill them. And then once she does get the kill, she gets the free stack back into her ultimate because she gets a kill or assist, and then she can just jump right back out, and she's just really good at it. If the enemy team has no oracles or pink wards, you can just chill in your shroud for a while and they can't really kill you, which is a really important thing because survivability and mobility is super important on these kind of snowball champions. And I just think Akali can absolutely destroy low elo games if you know how to play her properly. Number 8 is going to go to Diana because I think she's a pretty OP champion because you can pretty much build AP tank like Zhonya's, like an Abyssal, and still do crazy damage while having a hard time dying. And on top of her having a hard time dying, she has great mobility with her ulti. Her W gives her extra shield, and her Q with an ulti reset is just amazingly good, which just offers so much extra damage, and it gives you that extra mobility as well. She's definitely one of those champions that can just jump right into a team fight with her ulti, pop a target almost instantly, but still survive for quite some time, and either escape with her second part of her ulti if she did the reset, or wait for her team to come in and finish up the job. Number 9 is going to go to Kennen because he's another example of a great mobility champion who has that E, who gives him also extra armor and magic resistance. Also, he has his ultimate, which has huge AoE damage and stun and CC in general. And on top of that, his Q is great poke, and his W is really easy harass as well. So I think Kennen, another really strong champion. And then finally, we have Kassadin. Of course, Kassadin is the one champion that is just amazingly good at this as well because his ultimate, huge mobility, his QE, huge damage, his auto attack with his W, huge. Only problem with him is his laning phase can be a bit difficult, but I feel like he can roam to other lanes really easily and just snowball himself and other lanes. So those are the top 10 champions. However, there's also a few other champions that I did not mention, but they're not exactly traditional mid champions. And these champions are things like Lissandra, Tryndamere, and Amashi, who I also believe can have a potential of being a snowball carry champion. However, you don't really see them in the mid lane often, but you do see them sometimes. So I will throw them in at the very end just for the heck of it because these are also really, really strong champions. So that's it for this video, guys. In conclusion, these are the top 10 champions and plus the bonus 3 at the end that I think are really good in solo queue and are really good at snowballing. So I recommend picking up any of these champions and trying to play them and really just get really good with them. And I can guarantee you will probably see an increase in your division. Also, keep in mind that these are not the only ones that can carry because honestly, any champion can carry if you're skilled with him or her. For example, my Lissandra, she's not a snowball champion, but I'm really good with her and I feel like I can carry with her without much problem. Or any ADC for that matter can really just carry a game as well, which is why I also play ADC quite a lot on my Smurf if you've seen me stream. But anyway, these are my top 10 champions that I recommend you guys try out and really play if you want to snowball through your games and try and get higher elo. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, post them below and I will see you next time. Peace.